little bit of a traditional Cambodian house last time. This time we get to see where a lot of Cambodians are living like in the city. And a lot of times they're in really a lot of different rows. Our first house in Cambodia was similar to that, except there was 2 bedrooms in the middle, kind of like a hallway, but otherwise very similar.
Here, just would like to show some of the, this is kind of normal Khmer's rented house in Siem Reap. And so you can see like there is a different room over there, and mostly they leave the shoe in front, and this is where they are in. So like you come in, firstly you kind of see like at the bed, like small place which is this the bed, the sleeping bed that you can sleep for 3 to 4 people sometimes, and sometimes like it depends on how many members you have, but this bed can carry to 4 people. And there's a window, and there's some plant hanging around here, window stuff. That's the Cambodian map. And there's a fan, because a lot of how in Cambodia we don't really use our AC. That's a fan to keep the airflow in the house. And this is the closet, like from fabric. It's very good to use it, can put a lot of stuff in. Sometimes we can use as well, like to store some book inside it, and other clothes. And this is the fridge. Somehow they don't really have fridge, because we shopping every day, like morning, afternoon. But some, when people like they going to work, sometimes they store food in the fridge. So like this, we have one fridge here, and you see, like you see the way to get in the wall. And this is the working table, because we have a small place rather than having a big desk. So we just have a small one here, like a working table that you can sit on that and working on it. And some our storage place here, like store some bag and stuff, and thing around it. Let's go to see house toilet and the bathroom. This is the bathroom, like it's not big, and mostly we didn't really separate between the shower room and the toilet. So you kind of have a little bit thing here, like soap, toothbrush, all the stuff that you can. And there's a hanger here, and we're using the shower here, but you see the tap here is not really see. That's the toilet. And actually, like she didn't have, one of my friend didn't have the shoe rack, so she left the shoe here, which is in front of the bathroom. And this is come to the kitchen. The kitchen, it very a lot of common like this, like there's a shell to store some dish and stuff and ingredient. And we got one of the cooking right here. And the stew is like it is you can use it like this is how you turn it on. And like you can turn it on, that you can use that to cook food and everything here. There's a frying pan, and we got a sink here. That's water bottle, that's the big bottle we can use, pot. And this is like kind of a small kitchen rented house, and luckily we have these I mean door at the back, so you can see the neighbors outside there. That's a very traditional of my house there, like with a lot of tree in. You see the rented place.
What would be a couple of things you notice, a couple questions that you would have after watching that? I'll just look over in the chat, or if you want to unmute briefly, you could say something. Where is the gas tank? Now, Churn from Malaysia, she knows a lot about this. And typically for one of those stoves, there's a gas tank underneath. And I don't know, I didn't see it either, but it's got to be gas run. Other questions, something you noticed or something that surprised you? Is the tap water drinking water? Very good question. No, I don't know of anywhere in Cambodia that you can drink the tap water. If you saw that there was a jug of water that would have been bought on the counter, we used a clay pot filtration system that you can pour the water in and it filters out. A lot of Cambodians sometimes will just boil it, but you can't drink it out of the tap, even for the Cambodians. Why did most people not use the AC, but use the fan instead? A lot of people don't have it. This would have been maybe closer to a middle-class home, but if you do have it, it's very expensive. Was this a single person or a family with kids? I would guess a family with kids. I was surprised to see Dove. Yeah, you can get some Western shampoo and other things. In some houses, there can be one family of floor. Sometimes when we show in Phnom Penh here in a minute, they have these houses on stacked, and they might park their car in the bottom and maybe have a family or two living on the next two floors as well. About why do they take the shoes off before entering the house? It's become just a plain sign of respect. But in traditional Cambodia, all the roads are dirty, dusty, you're wearing flip-flops everywhere, but they still want a clean place. They'll even sweep the outside of the house that's even with dirt in rural Cambodia. So taking off the shoes is also very practical in addition to a part of respect. Travis.
Hey, I love getting to see all the questions that you guys are generating. It's so great. Hey, thanks, Jesse, for that comment. Yeah, I think it's really amazing that it gives you so many talking points, right? Because that's exactly what happens, like Nathan was saying. One of the Khmer teachers telling them, hey, just observe, just ask some questions. So if you were here, you would be able to ask some of those questions. And it's a great conversation point, it's a great bonding point for anyone because people love to explain their lifestyle. And one thing that's like really, really important is to not make them feel bad about it. You know, don't come across as judgmental or like, oh, we do it differently there, or we're differently here, but try to see it in a positive way. And I think it can really help create great relationships. So you'll see right behind me, I'm on a road here in the city. And if you want your new Honda, there's some lovely display models right there for you to test out. I wanted to stop along this city road because there's a market right by, and then there's some chop houses. This is super characteristic of a Southeast Asian city. So right across the way, you'll see Vivo is one of the many phone brands. And right next door, some lovely models. And you'll notice right behind this shop and inside the shop, these are actually houses. So people live there and then they sell something down below. This right here, you'll see kind of like this bigger house, and right beside it is this really thin house. This would be kind of like we call it Bale of Wang, which is kind of like a longer house. It's very, very typical. Sometimes you'll see these like in long rows along the street. And the house that you saw earlier in the video, that was like like an apartment, like a 2-story apartment, and there were rooms. And each of those rooms was $50. And that is really cheap. That is in Siem Reap. We are here in Phnom Penh right now, and a house like this on the main road, you could rent that for maybe no less than 500. It'd probably be more like $700 to rent this. Why? Because you could have a business down below. You got like a wider house, wider shop area, it could be even more expensive.